say this, but tipping culture has gotten out of control. And I just want to preface this by saying that I always tip 20% like standards. I went to this like local like little, it's like a burger and fry place, kind of like the local version of McDonald's. So like chicken tenders and fries, right? I get up to the pay window and she's like, how much do you want to tip? And I'm just like, what? And she's like, yeah, did you want to leave a tip? And she's like pointing to them. And I was like, oh no, not today. And then I just felt really uncomfortable. But like, homegirl, what am I gonna tip you for? I'm in the drive-thru. Oh my God.
Okay, everybody, don't get down on realistic recovery on TikTok. She says that she does tip. And maybe I just take this especially personally because I've worked in virtually every type of job you can work in that relies on tips. I've been a waiter and a bartender and a sandwich maker and a barista and a caterer and a busboy. I've done it all in food service. But there is a big debate being hashed out pretty much always on TikTok and videos like that about debating. A user responded, when they swing the iPad around, and you got to decide what type of person you want to be today. I thought that was pretty funny. I kind of like the iPad tipping thing. It's very simple. You don't have to figure out the numbers. Barry Distracted said, if they were paid fairly, we wouldn't have to tip. Tipping culture is because the rich want us to supplement each other's income. So there's a lot of back and forth on this about where you should tip, where the obligation lies. Adrian, what are your thoughts about this?
Okay, first of all, when you were listing off all of your employment things that required tipping, I expected you fully to say that you had worked at Spearmint Rhino, but I'll leave that there. And then when it comes to actually, and then when it actually comes to, I was like, that's a tipping.
What you're saying.
That's a tipping game. But when it comes to actual tipping, so I do think it's weird that she asked the woman, what would you like to tip? I think that's a little weird, especially in a drive-through. But I am also of the thought that if I'm in a position, no matter what I have to give, I give. So any change that if I'm at the gas station, any change I ever get, no matter what it is, I make sure I put it in the thing. And then if I'm out at a restaurant, I just feel like I should, even when it's that whole flipping the screen around thing and they're just giving me food, not necessarily serving me. I still give them a few bucks because I figure, hey, they're in a position where they're serving me no matter what. So if I can, might as well.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I don't think I ever have at a drive-through because it's never been presented to me. Either verbally, which I agree with the TikToker, that seems a little bit weird. Yeah. If they did the flip around iPad thing in the drive-through, I probably would because they are prepping the food. It's a version of food service, like expediters and people who do like to-go orders. They're working in a high intensity environment. It isn't the exact same experience of a waiter. In some cases, it's harder. It might be higher volume, for instance. And again, I'm a guy that's worked outside of Spearmint Rhino in all of these positions, basically, and I don't rule it out. I'm eventually going to be ejected out of this career field, and maybe that's where I'll land. Don't really have the physique for it, but I can work on it. Anyway, I just think I wish that the system could be changed. I wish that there was a higher base level of pay. I think that these people work incredibly difficult, physically, intellectually, and also emotionally. Like you have to do so much work presenting this idea to all the customers, taking a lot of abuse and everything. But unfortunately, we've been raised in a culture that implies that this is intro level work. It's not to be respected, even though we rely on these sorts of people for their labor on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I just think, why not? Why not give? I do think in like the whole karmic wave, the thought that it's going to come back to me in some way. But I just know I've been in that position, and why not? I was just in Reno this past weekend, and I was gambling at the tables, and I didn't spend what I had left because I wanted to be able to tip out the guy, who's working roulette. And so I just did it. And then you make sure you have money to be able to tip the cleaning people for the room and the whole deal. And it's like, this is I think it's just part of life. I think it's just important. Yeah, just give.
I like that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.